Okay, welcome back. All right, let's get started right away because this could be very tedious and repetitive. All right, we got to go to our sprites. We have to adjust some things real quick. All right, go to our sprites folder. Let's select all the sprites, all our little animation sprites. We don't really need the last four or whatever. Just select everything anyway and then delete them. I'll take these, and these. Okay. You do that. We'll right click and we'll select Asset Actions. We're going to go to the bulk editor via Property Matrix. We're going to open this up. Okay. We're going to situate this a little bit more. Let me close all of this up and move this. These are all our sprites. This is everything that's going to be adjusted with these. All right. I got sprites. In my sprites, we want to come down and we want to take this from center and change this to bottom center. Okay, those are those arrows, those blue, red, and green arrows in the viewport. Okay, we want that at the bottom of our sprite. All right, and then what I'll do here also is in the collision, I'll go to where it's type bound box, and I like to shrink wrap everything. I don't know, it just sounds cool. I think it just keeps everything tighter and to what it's formed as. I do the same thing for the geometry type and rendering. All right, and this is that bulk editor matrix thing. All right, we kind of want to do this all the time. We want to keep everything centered to the bottom with our character when it moves. Certain thing, maybe the coin you want in the center because it's gonna maybe float. We'll see, maybe not. All right, but this is it. Now we got to set up. With this, we'll set up all our sequences. We'll get a source, sequences, and then open up an animation blueprint. And we'll start with our very first blueprint. And we'll go down to Paper ZD, and we'll start with an animation source. Okay. The animation source is where all the sequences are held. And the sequences are the flipbooks, just another name for the flipbooks. You know, that flipbooks is one sequence. Okay, idle is a idle sequence in the animation blueprint. That's how it will be referenced. Okay, we'll name this Anim Source Player. All right. As you saw when we opened up the paper ZD on the bottom there for this source, we saw oh my god, what was it for sequences? You don't really need sequences. We'll open that folder up to make sequences or blueprint up to have sequences all the time, because if you go in here, right here at the top, this add, right here, you add an actual sequence. So you just add new sequence and there you go. You got a brand new sequence. You don't have to open it up independently. If you want to, you could. I just never did. There was no reason to. I just keep adding new, or if you get lazy, you could just duplicate. See, there's the sequence where you can go all the way down here and just open it up here. But you don't really need to if the source kind of provides it for you. You already know where it is. You know, you don't have to move nothing. I never did it the other way. No, never did. Okay. All right. These we'll do today. We'll focus on our idle, our walk, and our jump. For our melee and our ranged attack, probably be another video. It's pretty long. It's a lot of this is like repetitive stuff. If I had the time, I'd probably sit down, do all of it, and then chop it all together, I guess. But this is basically how long it actually takes. Like if you were to sit down and do it, but you could fast forward all of this. And it's the same stuff. We'll do it to this player character. We'll do the same thing to our enemy character. Yeah, and we'll give them like sequences and sources and animations. Same thing for the items, but I might actually set those up a little differently. You know, I might. But I don't know, whatever works. We just want it to work and look good, right? And this would be like, oh, I gotta, how many of these am I gonna need? Right, so after this, set up all the sequences, name all of them. I gotta drop all the animations into them. Once all the animations are set up and put in, we could probably start going to the animation blueprint. Yeah, sorry, just thinking out loud how I'm going to set it up. Alright, let's just finish naming this. Like I said, just fast forward if you want. This is even more boring than me trying to explain anything to you. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Okay, so it'll work right here. Yeah. Busy nights and that out there, huh? It's crazy. It's quiet old guys. Gotta do it now while I'm doing this. Anyway. Okay. So that's what else am I got? Okay. All right. Let's get this all set up. Let's get this renamed. All right. When I get this done, we'll set up our blueprint. We'll probably go into our editor, our project settings. We'll use our interface that we made, which I like. That was like one of the first things I learned that I actually was lucky to. All right, these are all done. Save these. Now we got to put our animations in. Okay, this is the time-consuming, repetitive stuff. Like, okay, this is the length it'll take. Quicker if you're more adequate at it. But we'll scroll down. We'll put all our animations in here. Okay. Let's do. Okay. Another one. All right. And if you want, I'm not gonna set up the source or the sequences for the enemy. You can do that. You have the animations. You set up flip books. I'm showing you how you set up your animation blueprint. At least the sequences with the source. All right, that's what you need. You could just do those. You don't actually have to do the animation blueprint because we never coded the enemy yet. All right, but you could set up their sources and sequences if you want. I won't really do that because it'll just be more of the same thing of what I'm doing now. And I really just want to get to getting into the blueprints and start coding a little bit so we could actually have the right animations. It would be nice. It would be very, very nice. The box would be fun. The boxes would be fun. Okay, let's go here. What the hell, man? Just thinking about it. I don't know if I'll use all these. I don't think I'll use all the jump sequences. Seriously. I don't think I'll use all the jump sequences. Alright. Oh, we might. And even if we don't, I'd probably be able to use it somewhere else. We got all the basic stuff done. Alright. Okay. Finish up this last one here. Just want to have them all up in here and everything is all situated. I'm so sorry, that was like such dead air time. That was so horrible, but this is like I said, this is the repetitive, tedious stuff. I might actually just start sitting down and recording the whole thing in order to splice up all of this stuff. There's not really much to explain in this part because it's all copy and paste for however animations you have. Alright, that's all it is. You gotta start John with that, you got the walk. Yeah, I think I'm fine here. I think it's finally set up. Alright, that was a big chunk of time, but ugh. Anyway. Everything is going, so you can just always go back if you got lost on something or if something's not right. Let's compile, let's save. Okay, we have everything set up here. We have our sequences. They're all set up in the source. Alright, we could actually probably start setting up like our blueprint to get our guy looking pretty cool. I hope. You know, I really do. We'll find out though. Right? So, with these two things, let's right click, go down to Paper ZD. Let's select ZD Animation BP. There's our animation blueprint. Let's select the source we just made. It holds all of our sequences / flipbooks slash animations. Alright. Let's rename this. Anim BP player. Whatever you want to name it. You can name it whatever you wish. Alright. So do that. Let's see. Let's open it up. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Alright. What we'll do is we'll probably play and initiate with that first interface that we made. We're gonna initialize that one right now. That's what we'll do. That's how you do it. You come inside this blueprint here, and it's a little different. You do not have begin play. You have an event tick. We don't need that. You have an event on init. This is kind of like the begin play here. And what we do is we pull off of this pin, and we'll go back and move this here. We'll go into our player character, and we're gonna call this interface that we did. I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before that, but we'll call that in here. We'll make that like we'll do that where we can call it all the time. We'll call it a player cast call message. We want this right here. We'll click this. Move this here. Off the target, we'll get owning actor. And you'll see it'll be referenced under the paper ZD. And you know that's the function you're looking for. And what we'll do off the player cast call is we'll pull off of this pin, we'll right click the mouse and promote to a variable. And that'll put it over here in this left side in our little content area, a little detail area where our variables are. It's right there. So instead of writing out this whole little thing or having to reference the whole entire code inside the player blueprint, we could just take this node, slide it in there, and then pull off that pin and call whatever functions inside that blueprint. That's what an interface does. It makes two blueprints actually talk to each other. From my understanding, that's how it works. Okay, so we have these. Everything can be initialized. Okay, let's go to the animation graph. Okay, and for this to work, we gotta have to pull off of this result pin. We need to pull off and type in state machine. The state machine is the actual machine that plays the states of every sequence or animation that needs to be played and how it's transitioned. I like to name these. You click on it, highlight it, go over to the right, go up and name them. I'll name this player state machine. And I'll show you why I name it. It's a good habit to getting into naming it. It organizes everything a little bit easier for you to find and seeing, directly what you're looking for. If there is an error for some unknown reason that pops up, everything is kind of like labeled. All right. But this is where we'll be working in. You'll end up going inside here, compile, save, and this is exactly what we'll do. This is where it all begins. That little pin in that node, that little out node, this is where it all starts. You'll pull off of this, right click, and select animation state. Okay? You select this node. This node will play the animation inside of it. And that's the state inside this machine. Okay? You could do it in many ways. You could do an idle, then transition to walk, or do an idle, walk, make it together. 3D games use blend spaces, where they do an idle, walk, run. So we won't, I'll kind of make like a cheap version of a blend space for 2D, I guess. That's kind of what it's like, an idle run. And we'll do all of it in this area right here, instead of like traditionally like doing it in our little transitions. And then we'll do that by, working off our player character, its type of movements, and true and false. Okay, we did this last time. We know about the 1 and the -1 and all of that stuff. So let's get owning actor. Let's get that function out first. So it's easier to explain. I can explain a little bit while I do it. Once we have the owning actor, we're going to pull off this pin and get the function get velocity. Not like the variable looking pin, but the actual function. Okay, you could do whatever you want. You could right click, split, do it this way. I'll just pull off and break the vector. Okay, this is what we're doing. All right, and we're dealing with the x-axis again, like last time. The pressing D is +1, it's going right. Pressing A is -1, it's going left. Right, and that's how it works. So pulling off for x will equal. We'll type in equal float. Okay, and we'll leave it at 0. If x equals 0, okay, we'll pull off of this result pin from the output, and we'll type in select animation by bool. Okay, this will give us a set value in a Boolean pin that we can connect this equal value to. Okay, so if x equals 0, we will connect it to the select value of the select animation by bool. Okay, so if x equals 0, true will result in idle. Why idle? Well, I'll explain. If 1 on the x-axis is right and -1 is left, 0 is no movement, which means therefore it is idle. So if it's false, it must be moving, either left or right. It's moving either way because it's not 0, it's not idle. So false will then be put as walk. Okay, so how this works is we get our owning actor. We get the actual actor that we're calling. That's our player character. Get its velocity. We want the axis it's moving on, the X. We want to know if it's idle. We set true to idle, false to walk. Okay? And now, to get this to work, we need to go to our player blueprint. Scroll down where our components are to the animation component. Click on this. Go to the right. Go to Anim Instant Class. Select this and put the blueprint we just created, the animation blueprint we just created, into that slot. Compile and save. Look. You see these arrows right here? You see the way the character is in the middle of that capsule component? That's because we set it to the bottom. See, it's to the bottom center. It's the center to the bottom of our character. We just have to slide this down. You could change this by view. You know, I do right. I select my sprite. That's what it looks like when it's shrunk wrap for some reason. And then I go back to view and put it to perspective. And everything looks good. Okay? Let's see. Is this good? Before I actually make a fool of myself. Alright, here we go. This ain't gonna work right, but let's go. We'll see how it works. Take some time to load. Alright. Not gonna crash, right? No, there you go, thank God. Alright, start idling, please. Yeah, okay. Do you walk? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he walks like he's on, I don't know, like a 12-pack of Red Bull. I don't know about that. We could slow that down. Let's just stop this. Let's back out and go back to the blueprint here, the player blueprint. Let's go down to character movement. Over here in the components area to the left of the viewport. And then on the right, let's go down and look for max walk speed. It's usually like 600. Yeah, I don't want it 600. I'm gonna try 100. I mean, I've gone slower, but I mean 600 to 100 from where he's going. I think 100 would be okay for right now. If not, I could always just switch a compile. I could switch it and put it back. Let me see how this looks. And you could put it to any speed you want. You can make it look whatever way you want. You got your own sprites or flip books or characters. You could do whatever. Let's see. Yeah, that's a better walk, I think. That walk is better. I do want to fix the camera a little bit. I might want to zoom in a little bit more. I want to fix that little blur anti-aliasing. Anyway, okay, we got this. Just looks good. That's all right. Like I said, you can play with it, do whatever you want to do. You know, make it look whatever you want to look like. That's how you set that up. All right, we gotta go here now to edit, and I want to go into the project settings. We're gonna go into inputs, and where we ended up putting our x-axis or our axis input. There's action input. Access is movements. Action is the type of actions like pick up, attack, jump, things to this nature, interact, you know, things like that. So go to input, and like right on top of this, this is where we did our axis mapping, our D. See the +1 and our A is -1. It's right, left. All right. That's why 0 is idle. Go to action, click the plus icon. It'll open up an arrow. Hit the arrow, and a text block will drop. Select the text block. Type in jump. That's going to be your event. That's going to be the action event right there. That's the name of the action event. When you're done with that, you got to hit the plus icon to the right. That'll open up your input action key. We're going to stick with the keyboard. We're going to click the arrow going down. We're going to go to keyboard again, and we're going to select a space bar. Where's the space bar? There she is. Space bar. Okay. You can just close this, really. This automatically saves. So we have our action input key. That should work fine. We can go into our player character, into our event graph eventually. I don't want this here. Okay, this is a little more sensitive. I can close some of this. I don't want this so bunched up. Okay, now let's get in here. Let's start focusing on our jump. We gotta give some code to jump. We gave the code for movement, you know, for the left and right. Now we have to get it to jump a little bit. All right, and we're gonna use the event we just made now. All right, and we'll type in action. What the hell? What the hell? Why isn't it there? Did I just type in jump? Maybe I just typed in jump. Hold on a second. Yeah, jump. Oh, yeah, event on jump also. We also have to deal with this one. But there it is. There's our action input. All right, let's take it. Let's select it. All right. And let's get on jump. Get the event on jump also. I want this also. This helps stop a lot of the glitchiness. It's like it's on jump. It's what it is. You know, action input jump is like when we press the jump button, it initiates the event on jump. So they kind of got to work together, sort of. I think. But then we still need, anyway, we'll just get the jump function out, the actual function for jump, the calculations of what a character does when it jumps. We need that. It's out. All right. We also going to need another boolean to know if true or false, if it is jumping. So let's select a new variable. It's still a boolean. And this one we'll call is jumping. Okay. And we either have to set is jumping to true, that it is, or we'll just leave it as false. And we'll set true or false within the blueprint. Okay, so once that's typed, that's it. We can compile, save, and then we can pull is jumping out by holding down the left mouse button and letting it hit the execution pin, and it will bring it to set. You want to click the box there to make it true because it is jumping. So when the button's pressed, jump is initialized. It is jumping. Yes. So let's connect this also. Okay. Okay, we know it's jumping. It's going to jump, but what to do when it jumps? This is where we got to grab our animation component. Hold down, slide in the animation component. You bring it in here, and this is where that name comes in again. All right. From this pin, pull, type in Anim Instant. Oh, there it is, right there at the bottom. Grab that, put that in, select this, and from here we could access a special node for the blueprint that they give. I like it. It's a jump to node. It's kind of like that out pin. You could just call certain functions from within this blueprint and just start it up and just transition it back, and it's jump to. Just type in jump to, and it's literally the first one right there. Select that. We'll hook this up to the is jumping. And this is where the names are at. Okay, you got two sets of names here. You have the jump name. Okay, you got the jump node, the jump name. Ooh, something's bothering my dogs. And then you have the actual name of the state machine. All right, we have the state machine name because we set that up already. We can actually put that in there right now. All right, and we can keep this, you know, as organized as possible so there's less things we got to go back to do later. So let's go back all the way to the beginning of this. This is where our state machine is. We select it, highlight our name, and copy and paste. Rule, it's very important that you take the way that it is spelled here and it's put into this node in the player's blueprint exactly that way. That's why I do it this way. We'll just highlight and paste, and it's exactly the same. We'll do the same for the jump name once we actually create this node and hook everything up. All right, which we're going to be getting to very shortly. We're almost set up with everything. If everything goes right, we should be walking and jumping all together shortly. All right, so we got this set up. We got our jump node. Here's the animation state. Let's go back in here. Okay, and like this, how we got the out pin, and this is the idle walk, and this is like a whole function thing in there. This jump node will be a little different. I forgot to name this. Look at this. All right, here's my idle walk state. Wow. I'm rushing. I wonder what else I messed up. All right. This is good. Anyway, there's our jump state. Let's select that. Here we go. Let's rename this. Player jump. Player jump state, player jump, whatever. Just change it from jump because that's the default setting is jump. Or setting name is jump. And those dogs keep startling me. I hope they would just relax a little bit. Okay. With that done, we'll leave it at player jump. We'll pull off of this node. We'll go into and we'll make an animation state. Kind of like what we got up there, but a little different. We'll type in jump start state. That'll be the name here. Jump start state. And in here, we're just going to really set the actual animation. There's going to be no coding, no nothing, just regular basic animation. And I'll show you why. Okay, so that animation is jump start. Where is it? Well, they really startled me a little bit. Okay, there you go. That's done. That's good. And that's what happens as soon as we press that button. That's what happens. It'll be the jump start animation. And everything is going to transition into one piece, into another piece, and eventually transition. We have to have everything transition into the idle walk state. All right. A little differently than that. We're not going to have a lot of coding inside our states. Okay. Let's copy our name here, our jump node name, place it here. So our jump to node in our player blueprint is up to date and finished, so we don't have to worry about that no more. We could actually probably check this, I believe. It'll be glitchy, but I believe we can. Let's at least see if it's working, right? See if anything broke. Alright. Alright, do I walk? Okay. Yeah, it jumps. It registers. It's glitchy though. That's because we don't have our land set up. Alright. Our landing isn't set up. Let's finish our jump start state. We have what we have there. The next thing we need to do, what do I want to do here? I got the jump. Let's move this down because what I want to do is I'm probably going to build this up. The transition into the idle walk state. You could go wherever you want. I'm just trying to keep this as neat as possible and easy to understand. Because some of these get really crazy. Alright? This is really sensitive. Pull off of here. And let's get another animation state. That's right. We want another animation state. We're going to transition into another animation state. And this one will be called jump in air. Alright? Now, in between these two states, you got that little circle. That's a transition node. That's where we're gonna put our little bit of coding to let it know to switch in between states. Because we're not mixing states, we're doing individual states, and we have to individually specify its transition. So in air, we'll just type in. Oh, we can go here, animations in air. Leave that. All right, so we have 2 of our jump sequences where they need to be. All right, now we are going to have to do a little bit of coding here. Pile, save, for in between these two. Yes. This is what's going to make everything work and move fluidly. All right, so in between these two, we need to select and enter this. Okay. And now, mind you, this is jumping. This is a little bit different. And we called this, all right, we made all of this. Made that reference to it there so we don't have to recode anything all crazy. We just slide this little bad boy in there like that. We'll get our player cast call. Okay. And then we'll get is jumping. See, we're asking, we're seeing if we can, we're using that boolean inside the player blueprint from the reference that we made. Okay, so this is saving a lot. So we just want to see if it's jumping, because if it is jumping, it's in the air. Okay, so you press the button, it started jumping, and now that it's jumping, which it is, and you're telling it is, it needs to play that state that it's jumping in air sequence. Okay, so that's how it goes from getting ready to jump to jumping. And now we have to transition for it to be at that peak to return to coming down. Okay, so we need to do 2 more events here and merge them kind of the same way to say is not jumping. We're going to need unlanded and what is it? Walking off a ledge, I believe. So walking off a ledge is kind of important. I think I noticed that it's like if you're walking and you're on a high place and you walk off the ledge, instead of going into a glitchy mode or something like that, it kind of keeps it what it should be. Like just standing in air, falling, and then land. Like, okay, so let's get event unlanded, and then I want walking off ledge. It just this way seems to work. Like I said, I've just everything I see and I do here, I learned, and this is from like things that I've put together over time that's actually worked, and things that do work and don't work, and I kind of always need this. And it works. I mean, there's a lot of other ways, more videos out there to watch that are easier and better, but just set everything up like that. Okay. Okay. Now that we got everything is off, I'm sorry, I set the boolean to off. That was all. And I combined those two. It was nothing crazy. You could always go back and look. Just combine those 2 events into that set jumping off. So from this, we make another animation state. This is going to be our final animation state. Right here, I don't think I will be using landing because of the way that's all set up. Okay, and this one will be jump is falling, or jump falling. Okay. And we'll have a transition event into this one, and then the one out of this one into walking. And then we'll just go to our animations, it's falling. Okay, so this is after it hits the peak of its jump. Okay. There you go. This one here. And this is what we're going to do. All right. We want to know if we're falling. So we're going to get our player cast call reference. All right. We're going to get the velocity, the function. Okay, not the boolean, the function. All right. You can do whatever you want to do here. I'm just going to break my vector. All right. But we're not using X here. We're jumping. When we jump, we're using the Z axis. Okay, it's the Z axis, and I want to see if it's less than 0. Yep, because anything above 0 means we're in the air or we're jumping or starting to jump. Anything below means we're going down. Right? It makes sense, no? I think. All right. So with that connected, that works. We have our transition into is falling. And then there is a nice little feature. Okay, this is all set up. We got our jump. We got what happens when we're starting to transition out of jump. We have all of our sequences for our jump all set up. But now we got to get back to, idle or walk state or original state. So let's just connect, our jump falling state to our idle walk state and click on this little transition pin. Now, with this transition pin, we could do something that's pretty cool. They got a nice, neat little function. Let's pull in our player cast call. Let's get it. Let's take it out. We'll pull off of this pin, I believe. Do I get the character movement component? I believe it is. Right? Is it? Is that what it's called? It's just a character movement. It's just this, I guess. Yeah, just use this. This is it. Use this and just type in is walking. That's all. Pull off this pin here and type in is walking. This function works. This should make it that when he's done falling and he lands on event landed, it should transition right into that idle walk state that we made first thing. All right, we'll compile. We'll save. Hopefully this works and there isn't too much troubleshooting. Please test. See if anything broke. We'll let it walk a little bit. Alright, that's good. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna turn this off a little bit. Okay, no, that works. It doesn't jump high enough, but that works. Alright, let's get out of here. Go into the player blueprint, go into the character movement. I need the jump velocity. Right, there it is. No. What is that? 40. I'll put this at, I'll double this up. I'll put it at 840 for now. Like, once again, like I said before, with the walk animation and all of that, speeds, you guys could do whatever you want. It's all up to you. You're making your game. These are just the areas and where to play with everything. So let's just double check everything. We're good. Let's see if this works. It does work. I just want to see if it jumps high enough and how good it looks. I have to play with the animations. I do have to get in a little closer, and I do want to fix that glitch. How's this? No. No, that works for me. Yeah, that works for me. You got your walk. You got to jump. You could jump and walk. Just jump, stop. Goes right into idle. You're good. There's no glitchiness, no nothing. That's it. That's not a bad little video. Next one will be our attacks.